Hey guys, how's it going? Big Dave here. Welcome to another video. And as you all have known, the Hallows event is here and Knights of the Frozen Throne is back in standard. One of my all-time favorite expansions. And I had to try some of my old decks. So let's go in and take a look.
They will never catch me.
Now, right from the start, guys, I will say I have not played many games with these decks. I have been far too busy at work. And it's just been crazy, but I have found time this evening to spend an hour trying different things. So first and foremost, the first deck I have got to share with you is a deck that I used to hate. I detested back in the day, but we have had, say, Knights of the Frozen Throne, my all-time. That was the expansion that dropped. That was the first expansion I was ever part of, and I absolutely loved it. And that expansion gave us Prince Keleseth. Back in the day, this was a broken card. Now we have common minions that do the same thing. I'm thinking Snapdragon. Very, very similar effect. Back in the day, this was a legendary, and Warlock used to run it, and Rogue. There was an aggro variation of Rogue that used to play Keleseth, Shadow Step, Keleseth. If you're really lucky, another Shadow Step, another Keleseth broken. So, first deck I played this evening was this Zoo deck. Now, I have had to tweak it because a lot of the old sort of burst damage that we had isn't in standard anymore. So, I'm thinking Doom Guards, Soulfire, that doesn't exist. Neither does the sort of old minion buffs that we used to have, other than Keleseth that is now back, you know, for the time being. But this deck plays out very similarly. So, I have tried to build it as near to the bone as I could. So we are running things like the Despicable Dreadlord. This was in there, or in some builds of it. There were some more aggressive builds than this, but this was a bit slower. You can see from the curve, we've only got 8 1-drops, 10 3-drops, 6 4s, and then it peters out towards the end. I have just had a really good game. Now, I will say, you might see me on the video looking a bit pissed off halfway through because I was sort of giving up. I'm not going to lie, because he just had the dream. But we did manage to scrape it over the line. And it was a really good game, so I'm going to throw that over the top of this now. And if you like aggressive decks, I'm not going to say that this is better than the Imp Warlock we have now. But if you don't know, Prince Keleseth, the condition for him is that you have to have no other 2-drop cards in your deck. There was 3 princes. There was Taldaram, I think, Keleseth, and something. Valnar, there you go. So there's Taldaram, Valnar and Keleseth. They were the 3 princes of Hearthstone back in the day. Obviously now you can see we've got 4 princes. Chump, I remember one of the first videos I ever saw from Chump was a 3 or a triple prince deck. That was a really good deck to play as well. Keleseth was by far the most broken. Taldaram and Valnar not so much. But in the right deck they were good cards. So but anyway, forget that. I'm going to show you this game that I've just had with this deck now. I only played 3 games with this. I did win all 3, but I will show you the one that I've just played against the Hunter because that's probably most prominent right now. And it was a really good game. So let's get into this deck list. So start off, we've got 2 Flame Imps. It's a staple in any Zoo Warlock deck. We've got 2 Mistress of Mixtures. Now you will notice that there are some healing cards in this deck. I will explain why in just a second. 2 Void Walkers, 2 Voodoo Doctors. That's a card that has been in the core set for quite some time. Most people probably don't know what that is, but that is a 1-mana 2/1 minion that restores 2 health to a target. So it can be a minion, it can be your face, it can be an enemy if you're really feeling generous. Then we've got Prince Keleseth, the only 2-drop, as I say, so we can't run the Imp package, so the VAR library, the draw mechanic. It's just not, you know, you just hope to have Keleseth in your opening hand. So you hard mulligan, that's what you're looking for. I've got 2 Bloodshard Bristlebacks. I'm not playing these to get the trigger, I'm just getting these for the life gain, and again I will explain why in just a second. 2 Fiendish Circles. There is a small Imp package in this list. A, because we're trying to get infused cards infused, and B, because we're running Imp King Reform, which is a card that needs infusing. So we need the Imps to be able to resummon them. Moving on to Happy Ghoul. This is why there is so much healing in this deck, because if you heal then this is a 0 mana 3/3. And back in the day, again, this used to actually be a broken card. The way the power creep in Hearthstone is just phenomenal. And it may seem to most people that this is just it's not that good a card. But back in the day, Knights of the Frozen Throne era, that card saw so much play in especially Zoo Warlock decks because they could tap to damage themselves, then heal with a healing minion, and then you would play a 0 mana 3/3. If you had 2, you would play a 0 mana 6/6 effectively. Very, very strong card. 2 Inkgang bosses, this you will all know. It's a 3 mana 2/4 that summons a 1/1 when it takes damage. 2 Cabal Outfitters, again, this is the only buffing card aside from Keleseth that we have in the deck, and it's not a bad tempo play. Obviously, you would hope that there is something that you can hit with this, but it is an extra stat, and you will see from the game that you are watching now when you get towards the end, 1 HP makes all the difference. 2 Life Drinkers. I can remember, again, this card getting quite a lot of stick back in the day for being too broken. It's a 4 mana 3/3 that deals 3 damage to the enemy and restores 3 health to you. It, again, in modern day Hearthstone, it isn't that strong. It doesn't see any play at the minute. But back in the day, again, this thing was immense. I'm fairly sure, I don't think this was Knights of the Frozen Throne. I'm fairly sure this was Kobolds and Catacombs. I'm fairly sure. It could have been Witchwood, actually. I think it might have been Witchwood. Next up, we've got the Mischievous Imp. This summons a copy of itself, or if it's infused, it summons 2 copies. And if you get the Keleseth buff on this, that means that they are 4/4s, not 3/3s. So you can get a 4 mana 8/8 as a bare minimum, or you could get a 4 mana 12/12, which is pretty strong. I think you'll agree. 2 Smothering Starfish. In the old Zoo decks, they used to run Spellbreaker, which was a single target silence tool. The whole reason for that was because you just want to be hitting face, you don't want to be making trades, and if your opponent plays Taunt Minion, then you wanted to silence that so that you could just go face. Sometimes that does make all the difference between winning and losing games. I did consider putting the Librarian in, which is a 4 mana tradable silence card, but again, thinking of modern day Hearthstone, I'm thinking that there are a lot of cards out there that you would want to silence. So I may cut one of these and put the Librarian in. I may not even play this deck again, but I've gone with the Starfish just for a mass silence effect. 2 Despicable Dreadlords. Again, there are cards in Hearthstone that have a similar effect right now that are not that powerful. Despicable Dreadlord back in the day was a very obnoxious card that you hated your opponent playing. So it's a 5 mana 4/5 demon. At the end of the turn, it deals 1 damage to all enemies. Again, it doesn't seem that powerful now, but back in the day, it really was a bit of a beast. Dreadlich Tamsin. I just wanted some form of A, draw, and B, sort of AoE. It was, plus it generates the 3/3 imps as well, and this is a deck where you always want to be ahead on board. You want your opponent to be, or forcing your opponent to make trades. So the 3/3s I felt were going to be important in the deck, which is why I've gone for Dreadlich and why I've not gone for Gul'dan. Gul'dan, if you don't know, is a 10 mana card that resummons all the friendly demons that have died, of which we have many in this deck, so you can generate another board with Gul'dan. But I went down the Sire-Denathrius route instead, but it is very possible that the Gul'dan could be a good card to put in this deck. In fact, I might try a game in just a second with Gul'dan, and I'll let you know at the end of this video how it goes. Imp King Rafarm, as you all know, is a very strong card, and he again generates your board out of nothing, and hopefully you've got it infused so that they give all the demons the 2/2. And then finally, as I've just said, Sire-Denathrius, he is just too strong of a win condition to not run in this deck, and I think that ultimately playing Sire was the reason I won that game. But there you go, guys. So are there any changes I would make? Possibly. But this is the deck that I've just played. I've played 3, I've won 3, and the game, as you'll see over the top of this now, I did probably make a couple of misplays. I'm not used to playing aggressive decks, but I wanted to play Keleseth. So this is the deck that I chose. Whilst I have you here, whilst you're finishing watching that game, I do have one other deck that I wanted to try, which was a Murloc Shaman. And the reason I wanted to try Murloc Shaman, I mean, it was already pretty strong anyway, but again, in this set, we have just had 2 Shaman cards added that, again, back in the day were incredibly strong. So I felt like, you know, maybe that was the difference between winning and losing with this game. So we've got the Warlock, which was a freeze effect, 2 mana 2/2, freezes an enemy minion or an enemy's face. And we got Ice Fishing, which draws 2 Murlocs from your deck. So between Ice Fishing and the Warlock Ravager, you can draw quite a few. And obviously you've got the Dredge mechanic with the Burrower. So I played 2 games with this only. I won 1, I lost 1. The reason I lost the one I lost was because I was against a Imp Warlock, and again, this is the kind of deck, if you fall behind on board and you don't have the tools to get back, then you can't get back, and I didn't have the tools to get back, so I ended up just conceding that game. But then the next game I won, which was against a token Druid, which was surprising. I didn't think I would win that one, but I did. And that's it, guys. So far I have played 3 decks, which is Hadronox Druid, the Murloc Shaman, and the old school Zoo Warlock. That is all I have done so far. I do have a list of decks that I want to keep playing. The Hadronox Druid, by the way, that was Rob Warshak's list, that wasn't mine. Again, play 3 games. Them games are a lot longer, but I did win all the games I played with that, and it was really good fun. I remember I hated playing against Hadronox Druid back in the day, and now you've got Hedge Mage. You don't even have to kill your own Hadronox anymore. You can just trigger its death rattle effect and win games. And I won against the Quest Priest, which was pretty immense. Then I won against a Hunter, and then I won against a Jailer Paladin. So turns out you can have invincible minions, and you can have all the health and carry-out and weapons that you want, but if you have an immovable wall of taunts every turn that just generates you armor, you're going to struggle to win, and that proved to be the case. I would imagine it gets wrecked in aggro matchups, but unfortunately I didn't face one of those. So there you go, guys. As you can see from my surroundings, I'm still not settled anywhere. I'm on the ricketiest of tables, as you can see, for Wiggle. And there is a vast amount of space around me. You can see behind, I'm living in one room right now. But things are hopefully going to, start moving in a good direction at some point. And, I'll keep you in the loop. But for now, guys, I will try and find some time very soon. I am going to be immensely busy between now and Christmas trying to get this project wrapped up at work. But like I say, I will try and find time to play some more of these old decks. There are still a load of decks I want to play. I want to try an all-out Disrupt Warlock with Bloodreaver Gul'dan, and the Known for R2s are back as well, which I love this card. This card was a combo killer back in the day. So many happy memories of Known for R2 milling. There was a combo Priest with Mechathune, and if you hit just one card from that combo, insta-concede. I love that deck. That was an immense deck, really fun to play. So yeah, I'm rambling, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will try and get some more decks to you very soon. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Thanks for checking out the channel, and I will see you in the next one.